The Last of Us is a groundbreaking television series that aired on HBO, adapted from the critically acclaimed video game developed by Naughty Dog. Its premise revolves around a post-apocalyptic United States, devastated by a fungal infection known as cordyceps that mutates humans into aggressive and often violent creatures known as the infected. Society as it once existed has crumbled, leaving only isolated pockets of survivors who struggle to maintain order in walled-off quarantine zones, small settlements, or nomadic groups. The story explores the intersection of survival, human morality, and the emotional bonds that persist even in a world stripped of civilization. At its core, the series is a character-driven narrative that examines what it means to live and retain one's humanity in the face of overwhelming loss, fear, and despair. Unlike traditional post-apocalyptic media, which often centers primarily on external threats, The Last of Us prioritizes relationships, trauma, and ethical dilemmas, making it both a thrilling and deeply emotional experience. The central narrative follows Joel Miller, portrayed with nuanced gravitas by Pedro Pascal, a survivor hardened by the loss of his own daughter during the early days of the pandemic. Joel's world is primarily driven by self-preservation, distrust of others, and a cynical worldview shaped by years of navigating the lawless, decaying remnants of society. His path intersects with Ellie, a teenage girl played with remarkable depth by Bella Ramsey, who represents both hope and the moral challenges that come with protecting innocence in a brutal world. Ellie is not merely a companion, she is potentially humanity's last hope for a cure, as she carries a unique immunity to the infection that could allow scientists to develop a vaccine. Their journey together spans across dangerous territories filled with hostile human factions, treacherous environments, and encounters with the infected, creating tension, suspense, and a constant test of their morality and survival instincts. The plot of The Last of Us is structured around the evolving bond between Joel and Ellie, starting from initial mistrust and pragmatic necessity to a profound surrogate parental relationship. Early on, Joel reluctantly agrees to transport Ellie from the Boston quarantine zone to a group known as the Fireflies, who are dedicated to researching a cure for the infection. Along the way, the narrative introduces secondary characters, such as Tess, Joel's initial partner and partner in survival, Tommy, Joel's estranged brother who offers a perspective on loyalty and moral compromise, and Marlene, the enigmatic leader of the Fireflies, whose vision for humanity's survival challenges the audience's perception of right and wrong. Each encounter, whether with human or infected, serves to explore themes of trust, sacrifice, and the psychological toll of life in a post-pandemic world. Throughout the series, the storytelling balances high-stakes action sequences with quiet, introspective moments, allowing viewers to engage fully with the characters' internal struggles. Joel's past traumas and morally ambiguous decisions are mirrored in Ellie's coming-of-age arc, as she learns to navigate a world in which traditional morality is often secondary to survival. The story does not shy away from the consequences of violence and the ethical complexity of survival decisions. Key plot points, such as Joel's choice to protect Ellie at all costs, highlight the tension between personal attachment and the greater good, prompting viewers to question the nature of heroism, familial love, and the ethical compromises inherent in a world devoid of law and order. These elements contribute to the series' reputation for emotional intensity and narrative sophistication, distinguishing it from other adaptations of video games. The series is notable not only for its storytelling but also for its casting, which has been widely praised for authenticity and depth. Pedro Pascal embodies Joel's weariness, toughness, and vulnerability, balancing his character's hardened exterior with glimpses of compassion and moral conflict. Bella Ramsey's portrayal of Ellie captures the character's mix of resilience, curiosity, and moral questioning, offering a compelling performance that is both emotionally engaging and faithful to the source material. Supporting cast members, including Gabriel Luna as Tommy, Merle Dandridge reprising her role as Marlene, Anna Torv as Tess, Isabella Merced as Dina, and Caitlin Dever as Abby, add layers of complexity to the narrative, each representing different aspects of survival, loss, and human connection. The casting choices, alongside nuanced performances, contribute significantly to the show's immersive storytelling, making the post-apocalyptic world feel lived in and emotionally real. Production values for The Last of Us are similarly impressive, reflecting HBO's commitment to high-quality television. Filming primarily took place in Canada, particularly Alberta, where the natural landscapes provided a fitting backdrop for the desolate and devastated American setting. The series' visual aesthetic blends realistic, often haunting depictions of abandoned cities and overgrown wilderness with cinematic lighting and design, creating a world that is both terrifying and beautiful. Special effects are carefully integrated to depict the infected in a way that is horrifying yet believable, preserving the tension without relying on excessive gore. Costume and set design are meticulously crafted to convey the passage of time since the pandemic and the socio-economic disparities that emerge in the post-collapse world. The attention to detail ensures that viewers are fully immersed in a society struggling to survive in the aftermath of catastrophe. The series' adaptation from video game to television medium involved thoughtful expansion and reimagining of story elements. Neil Druckmann, co-creator of the original game, and Craig Mazin, acclaimed for his work on Chernobyl, served as creators and showrunners, ensuring that the narrative remained true to the source material while exploring deeper character development and world building. Certain aspects of the game's narrative were extended or elaborated upon to suit the episodic format, allowing for richer backstories, expanded interactions, and exploration of secondary characters who were less developed in the game. This approach has been widely praised for enhancing the emotional depth of the story and making it accessible to audiences unfamiliar with the original video game. The critical reception of The Last of Us has been overwhelmingly positive. Critics and audiences alike have lauded its ability to balance suspense, action, and emotional depth. The series has been recognized for exploring mature themes such as trauma, grief, and moral ambiguity, all while maintaining the tension and excitement expected from a post-apocalyptic narrative. The series has achieved high viewership ratings, making it one of HBO's most successful debuts. Its impact extends beyond television, influencing discussions on narrative adaptation, character-driven storytelling, and the potential of video game properties to translate effectively into other media. Awards and nominations, including Emmys and other prestigious recognitions, have cemented the series' status as a cultural touchstone in modern television. The narrative complexity of The Last of Us lies in its exploration of human relationships under extreme conditions. The interplay between hope and despair, morality and survival instinct, and attachment and sacrifice forms the backbone of the storytelling. Joel's paternal attachment to Ellie, contrasted with the broader ethical implications of protecting her, raises profound questions about the human condition and the choices we make under duress. Ellie's growth from a curious, cautious adolescent to a more self-aware survivor provides a parallel exploration of identity, resilience, and agency. The series repeatedly asks viewers to consider whether survival alone is sufficient, or if the preservation of ethical and emotional integrity remains paramount even in a collapsed world. These thematic concerns elevate The Last of Us beyond standard post-apocalyptic fare, providing a narrative experience that is both intellectually and emotionally resonant. The world building in the series is intricate and consistent. Quarantine zones, rural settlements, and the ever-present threat of infected creatures create a tapestry of human ingenuity, desperation, and adaptation. Human factions are portrayed with nuance, no group is entirely good or evil, and motivations are often understandable even when actions are morally questionable. The Fireflies, for instance, are dedicated to finding a cure, but their methods and willingness to sacrifice individuals highlight ethical complexities that challenge viewers' perceptions of heroism. Similarly, hostile survivor groups illustrate how power, fear, and scarcity shape human behavior. This level of complexity ensures that the story is grounded in realistic psychology, making it compelling and immersive. As the series progresses, the narrative structure allows each episode to serve as a distinct chapter in Joel and Ellie's journey, simultaneously advancing the overarching plot while offering insight into the fractured world and its inhabitants. One of the most striking aspects of the show is the way it balances action with introspection. Early episodes depict Joel and Ellie navigating urban ruins and abandoned towns, scavenging for supplies, and narrowly avoiding infected encounters. These sequences are not only thrilling but also establish the rules of this post-apocalyptic environment, emphasizing scarcity, vigilance, and the constant threat posed by both humans and infected. The tension in these moments is heightened by the careful pacing of the episodes, where moments of quiet introspection or emotional exchange between Joel and Ellie provide a stark contrast to sudden bursts of violence and danger. Supporting characters introduced throughout the season each serve multiple narrative purposes. They deepen the audience's understanding of the post-apocalyptic world, illuminate Joel and Ellie's personalities, and explore moral ambiguity. Tess, Joel's partner, embodies pragmatic survivalism, sometimes challenging Joel's emotional decisions and underscoring the tension between morality and necessity. Her pragmatic yet loyal approach to survival contrasts with Joel's occasionally ruthless strategies, emphasizing that survival often requires compromise. Similarly, Tommy, Joel's brother, represents a moral counterpoint. He emphasizes community and ethical responsibility, which often places him at odds with Joel's more hardened perspective. These contrasting philosophies provide recurring opportunities for moral reflection, highlighting the series' focus on human choice in the face of life-threatening circumstances. Marlene and the Fireflies are central to the narrative's exploration of ethical dilemmas. The Fireflies, as a rebel group dedicated to finding a cure for the infection, represent hope and a larger moral mission. Yet, their willingness to manipulate, coerce, and make ethically questionable decisions in pursuit of this goal introduces complex questions about the cost of survival and progress. Marlene, as the leader, embodies these contradictions. She is both compassionate and pragmatic, capable of deep emotional understanding yet willing to make hard choices that place others in jeopardy. Joel and Ellie's interactions with Marlene and the Fireflies illuminate these ethical tensions, raising questions about what it means to act in the service of a greater good when personal survival and loyalty are at stake. The series frequently juxtaposes human conflict with encounters with infected, emphasizing that survival in this world is as much about navigating human behavior as it is about escaping biological threats. In several episodes, Joel and Ellie encounter hostile survivor groups who challenge their progress or threaten their lives. These confrontations often involve negotiation, strategic thinking, or direct combat, and they underscore the complexity of trust in a post-apocalyptic society. Through these interactions, the series explores themes of betrayal, loyalty, and the consequences of moral compromise. Joel's decisions during these moments often carry significant emotional weight, illustrating the personal toll of survival and the moral ambiguity that defines this world. The episodic progression also allows for detailed examination of Ellie's character development. As the journey continues, Ellie demonstrates increasing independence, resourcefulness, and moral judgment. Her ability to make critical decisions, assess threats, and navigate ethical dilemmas complements Joel's experience, creating a dynamic partnership that evolves from mutual necessity to deep emotional dependence. Moments of levity, curiosity, and vulnerability highlight her humanity, ensuring that audiences remain emotionally invested in her journey. Ellie's interactions with other characters, such as Riley Abel, reveal the depth of her past experiences and the foundation of her resilience, further enriching the narrative and providing context for her actions and decisions. In terms of plot, each episode often contains a distinct arc, contributing to the broader journey. Episodes set in urban areas often emphasize stealth, tactical decision-making, and environmental storytelling, while episodes in rural or wilderness settings focus on survival skills, resourcefulness, and the emotional impact of isolation. The narrative structure ensures that every location is more than a backdrop, it becomes a character in its own right, reflecting the themes of decay, resilience, and the interplay between human civilization and nature. This meticulous world-building enhances both suspense and emotional engagement, as audiences understand the stakes inherent in every decision Joel and Ellie make. A significant component of the series is its fidelity to the video game, balanced with thoughtful adaptations for television. While the overarching story, characters, and major plot points remain consistent with the game, the series expands on certain narrative elements, exploring the emotional and psychological dimensions of characters in greater depth. For example, flashbacks and dialogue sequences provide more context for Joel's trauma and Ellie's formative experiences, allowing audiences to understand their motivations on a deeper level. Some secondary characters receive expanded screen time, giving their actions and choices more narrative weight than in the game. These adaptations maintain the spirit of the original material while leveraging the strengths of the television format, including prolonged narrative arcs and the ability to explore subtle interpersonal dynamics. The series also emphasizes thematic concerns related to hope, loss, and human resilience. Joel and Ellie's journey is punctuated by moments of profound loss, but these are counterbalanced by instances of courage, ingenuity, and emotional connection. Ellie's immunity to the infection symbolizes potential salvation, but the narrative continuously reminds viewers that hope is fragile and dependent on both chance and human action. Joel's protective instincts, tempered by past trauma and evolving understanding of responsibility, illustrate the human capacity for growth and moral evolution, even in the harshest conditions. The interplay between hope and despair, survival and morality, and fear and emotional connection is a recurring motif, giving the series its philosophical depth and emotional resonance. Cinematic techniques further reinforce the storytelling. The use of long takes, carefully framed shots, and controlled pacing enhances tension and emotional intimacy. Practical effects, combined with selective CGI, create a realistic and immersive world where both environmental hazards and the infected feel tangibly threatening. Set designs and props carry narrative significance, from abandoned personal belongings hinting at pre-apocalypse lives to the detailed depiction of makeshift weaponry and survival tools. Gustavo Santaolall's score weaves subtle emotional cues throughout the episodes, reinforcing both suspense and poignant moments. The integration of these elements demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of visual storytelling and contributes to the series' acclaim as a high-quality adaptation of a video game narrative. As the series progresses, individual episodes serve as both narrative milestones and opportunities for character exploration. One of the most celebrated episodes, focusing on Bill and Frank, exemplifies the series' capacity to blend tension, character development, and emotional resonance. Bill, a survivalist who initially appears abrasive and paranoid, is revealed to be capable of deep loyalty and love through his relationship with Frank. Their storyline unfolds slowly, emphasizing the quiet moments of connection, sharing meals, maintaining a home, and expressing mutual care in a dangerous world. These episodes highlight a critical aspect of the series: human relationships endure even in extreme circumstances, providing both solace and stakes for survival. By dedicating screen time to secondary characters like Bill and Frank, the series emphasizes that every individual's experience in this world carries significance, enriching the overall narrative tapestry. Other episodes focus on the intricate journey of Joel and Ellie. Their encounters with infected hordes, hostile human factions, and treacherous landscapes serve as catalysts for character development. One particularly tense episode depicts a traversal of a ruined cityscape, with Joel and Ellie navigating crumbling buildings, flooded streets, and infected lurking in every shadow. The cinematography in these sequences heightens tension through long tracking shots, dim lighting, and careful framing that both reveals and conceals danger. Sound design amplifies suspense. Subtle groans, scuttling footsteps, and environmental noises create an immersive audio landscape that complements the visual storytelling. Through these sequences, the series demonstrates how survival requires not only physical skill but also emotional resilience, strategic thinking, and moral decision-making. Thematically, the series continues to explore the consequences of past actions and the nature of moral compromise. Joel's decision to save Ellie at the end of the first game, and its adaptation in the series, serves as a narrative fulcrum for both character development and ethical debate. This decision has ripple effects, shaping the trajectory of subsequent events, influencing relationships, and introducing moral ambiguity that persists into the second season. Season 2 examines these consequences in depth, particularly through the introduction of Abby, whose motivations and actions create conflict while prompting viewers to consider justice, revenge, and empathy from multiple perspectives. By presenting morally complex scenarios, the series challenges audiences to engage critically with the narrative, fostering reflection on the nature of human behavior in extreme circumstances. The second season also expands the narrative universe by exploring new locations, characters, and societal dynamics. Communities such as the WLF, Washington Liberation Front, are depicted with nuance, highlighting the interplay of power, survival, and ideology in post-apocalyptic society. Ellie's evolving relationship with Dina is portrayed with emotional depth, emphasizing themes of love, loyalty, and the negotiation of personal values in a dangerous world. By introducing diverse perspectives and ethical dilemmas, the series avoids narrative stagnation, ensuring that the story continues to evolve while remaining rooted in the moral and emotional questions that define the franchise. Production elements such as music, cinematography, and set design continue to play a central role in storytelling. Gustavo Santaolall's score provides a minimalistic yet emotionally powerful accompaniment, often using sparse instrumentation to underscore loneliness, tension, or moments of human connection. Cinematographer Kramer Morgenthau employs a combination of natural lighting, sweeping aerial shots, and intimate close-ups to convey scale, danger, and intimacy simultaneously. Set design and location choices reflect a post-apocalyptic world reclaimed by nature, with abandoned buildings, overgrown vegetation, and improvised settlements providing both aesthetic authenticity and narrative context. This meticulous attention to detail ensures that every frame contributes to storytelling, creating an immersive viewing experience that is both visually and emotionally compelling. Global reception of the series has been overwhelmingly positive. Critics have praised the adaptation for its fidelity to the source material, narrative complexity, and performances, particularly those of Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. Audiences worldwide have embraced the series, with fan communities engaging in analysis, discussion, and creative production inspired by the narrative universe. The series has sparked conversations about the ethics of survival, the portrayal of trauma, and the adaptation of video game narratives to serialized television, highlighting its cultural and intellectual impact. Its success has reinforced the potential for video game adaptations to achieve mainstream critical and commercial success when approached with care and respect for the source material. Awards and accolades further emphasize the series' achievements. The series has received nominations and wins for acting, production design, writing, and overall series quality, reflecting industry recognition of its technical and creative excellence. These awards validate the series' status as a benchmark for both post-apocalyptic storytelling and video game adaptations, demonstrating that careful, character-driven narratives can transcend medium-specific limitations and appeal to a broad audience. Fan engagement has extended beyond passive viewership. Online communities analyze episodes, discuss ethical dilemmas, create fan art, and produce theories about future story developments. This participatory culture reflects the series' ability to resonate with audiences on multiple levels, engaging viewers emotionally, intellectually, and creatively. The depth of narrative, moral ambiguity, and character development encourages sustained engagement, fostering a vibrant, active fan base invested in the unfolding story. This engagement is indicative of the series' broader cultural impact, demonstrating how adaptations can create meaningful dialogue and community interaction beyond traditional media consumption. In terms of future developments, the series is expected to continue exploring untold stories, character arcs, and ethical dilemmas in subsequent seasons. The ongoing involvement of Neil Druckmann ensures fidelity to the franchise's foundational themes, while the serialized format allows for narrative innovation and expansion. Potential adaptations of material from The Last of Us Part 2 and new storylines promise to deepen exploration of moral ambiguity, human resilience, and the long-term consequences of survival in a post-apocalyptic world. While the cancelled movie project remains unlikely to be revived, the television series has proven that a serialized format is most effective for conveying the narrative depth and emotional complexity of the source material. Ultimately, The Last of Us exemplifies the potential for video game narratives to be successfully adapted into high-quality television. Its combination of meticulous production design, emotionally resonant performances, narrative complexity, and thematic depth has established it as a landmark achievement in entertainment. The series demonstrates that with careful adaptation, respect for source material, and thoughtful exploration of character and moral complexity, video game stories can transcend their original medium to achieve critical, commercial, and cultural success. By balancing action, suspense, and human drama, the series has set a new standard for adaptations and reaffirmed the enduring power of storytelling in exploring the human condition under extreme circumstances. Following the initial journey of Joel and Ellie, The Last of Us television series expands its narrative across seasons, providing a more granular exploration of character development, ethical dilemmas, and the evolving landscape of a post-apocalyptic America. Season 1 primarily focuses on the establishment of Joel and Ellie's relationship and the perils of survival, but it also lays the foundation for broader thematic exploration. Each episode meticulously balances action, character-driven drama, and world-building, ensuring that audiences are not only invested in the characters' physical journey but also in their emotional and moral evolution. The first season begins with a harrowing portrayal of the initial outbreak, contextualizing the devastation that forms the backdrop for Joel and Ellie's journey. The early episodes interweave flashbacks of Joel's life before the outbreak, particularly his relationship with his daughter Sarah, with present-day survival challenges. This narrative technique emphasizes the psychological weight Joel carries and establishes the emotional stakes for his decisions throughout the series. The juxtaposition of past and present underscores the series' recurring theme, that trauma, loss, and memory shape human behavior and moral choices, particularly in extreme circumstances. As Joel and Ellie leave Boston and venture into the countryside, they encounter a variety of communities and individuals, each illustrating different approaches to survival. The town of Lincoln, where Joel meets Bill and Frank, is a critical narrative moment, offering insight into human connection amid isolation. Bill's paranoid, survivalist tendencies contrast with Frank's warmth and desire for companionship, creating a microcosm of the tension between self-preservation and emotional intimacy that recurs throughout the series. Their story, though brief, emphasizes that even fleeting relationships can have profound emotional impact, shaping the worldview and moral compass of the main characters. Throughout the season, the series introduces the Fireflies, a rebel faction committed to finding a cure for the infection. Led by Marlene, the Fireflies embody the moral complexities inherent in a post-pandemic world. Their mission, to use Ellie's immunity to potentially save humanity, creates a central ethical tension, the value of one life versus the potential survival of millions. Joel's protective instincts toward Ellie ultimately clash with the Firefly's utilitarian goals, culminating in his controversial decision to rescue her, an act that, while emotionally understandable, raises questions about morality, consequence, and the responsibilities inherent in power. This tension drives much of the series' critical acclaim, as it forces audiences to grapple with ethical ambiguity rather than presenting clear-cut notions of right and wrong. Ellie's character arc in Season 1 emphasizes growth, agency, and resilience. Initially portrayed as dependent and somewhat naive, Ellie gradually demonstrates resourcefulness, courage, and moral discernment. Her interactions with Joel, particularly the combination of trust, occasional defiance, and shared humor, allow her character to develop organically. She is neither idealized nor purely reactive, she possesses a nuanced sense of agency, making her choices and actions feel authentic and emotionally resonant. Episodes that focus on Ellie's perspective highlight her internal struggles and maturation, emphasizing the psychological dimensions of survival and the burdens of responsibility placed upon her at a young age. Season 2 expands upon these themes, exploring the consequences of Joel's decision to save Ellie and the broader implications of human survival in a fragmented society. The introduction of new characters, including Abby and Dina, broadens the narrative's scope, examining different responses to trauma, loyalty, and revenge. Abby's character, initially positioned as an antagonist, is given depth through her backstory, motivations, and personal loss, illustrating the series' commitment to morally complex storytelling. This approach challenges viewers to reconsider their initial perceptions, fostering empathy and understanding even for characters whose actions may seem antagonistic. Dina's relationship with Ellie further explores themes of love, trust, and vulnerability in a dangerous world. Through these interactions, the series underscores the importance of human connection as both a source of strength and potential vulnerability. Relationships are depicted as multifaceted, capable of providing solace, provoking conflict, and influencing ethical decision-making. The emotional resonance of these arcs enhances the narrative's psychological realism, demonstrating how interpersonal dynamics shape survival strategies, moral reasoning, and character development. The series continues to explore the spectrum of human responses to catastrophe. Militia groups, scavengers, and independent survivors illustrate how societal collapse fosters both cooperation and brutality. These encounters are not merely plot devices, they provide critical commentary on human nature, illustrating that ethical choices are often constrained by circumstance and personal history. The series emphasizes that survival is not binary, moral clarity is rare, and decisions carry long-lasting consequences. By portraying a variety of characters with differing values, the series encourages audiences to reflect on their own ethical frameworks and consider how they might act under similar conditions. A key narrative device throughout both seasons is the use of environmental storytelling. The series invests heavily in visual and auditory cues to convey history, tension, and emotional context. Overgrown buildings, abandoned homes, and decaying infrastructure are meticulously designed to evoke a sense of time passing, of lives interrupted and lost. Soundscapes, from subtle environmental noises to the tension-filled silence preceding encounters with infected, heighten immersion and emotional intensity, making viewers feel the weight of the world the characters inhabit. The interplay of cinematography, music, and production design contributes to the series' acclaim, creating a rich sensory experience that complements the narrative and character development. Ethical dilemmas remain central to the series' impact. Joel's actions in saving Ellie, Abby's quest for vengeance, and the choices made by secondary characters such as Bill, Marlene, and Tommy illustrate the tension between self-interest, moral duty, and the well-being of others. The narrative avoids simplistic moral judgments, instead presenting the consequences of decisions in ways that resonate emotionally and intellectually. Audiences are invited to consider the relativity of morality in extreme circumstances, recognizing that love, loyalty, trauma, and survival often intersect in morally ambiguous ways. These explorations of ethical complexity contribute significantly to the series' cultural resonance and critical acclaim. The legacy of The Last of Us extends beyond its narrative and production excellence. The series has received numerous awards and nominations, including recognition for acting, writing, production design, and visual storytelling. Its influence is evident in the broader landscape of video game adaptations, demonstrating that fidelity to source material, nuanced character development, and ethical complexity can elevate such projects beyond mere spectacle. The series has become a benchmark for narrative-driven adaptations, inspiring both critical discourse and industry practices around how interactive media can be translated effectively into visual storytelling. Audience engagement with The Last of Us also extends into online communities, academic discussions, and fan creations. The narrative's ethical and emotional depth has fostered debates regarding character choices, alternative story outcomes, and thematic interpretation. Social media, forums, and fan art illustrate the series' cultural penetration and the extent to which viewers connect with both the story and its moral questions. The characters' journeys, particularly Joel and Ellie's evolving bond, serve as touchstones for discussions about grief, resilience, and the complexity of human relationships in extreme circumstances. Ultimately, The Last of Us represents a convergence of narrative mastery, character-driven storytelling, and cross-media adaptation excellence. Its multi-layered approach to survival, morality, and human connection ensures that it resonates deeply with audiences while setting a standard for future adaptations. The combination of carefully constructed character arcs, immersive world building, and ethical complexity makes the series not only entertaining but intellectually and emotionally engaging. Its legacy continues to shape discussions around the narrative potential of video games, the ethical dimensions of storytelling, and the enduring importance of human connection in the face of adversity. By the conclusion of the second season, audiences witnessed the long-term consequences of choices, the evolution of relationships, and the enduring tension between morality and survival. Characters such as Ellie, Joel, Abby, and supporting cast members continue to grow, adapt, and struggle, reflecting the series' commitment to realism and emotional authenticity. The narrative's willingness to explore morally gray territory, combined with its meticulous attention to character and world building, ensures that The Last of Us remains a culturally significant and profoundly impactful story. In terms of its broader influence, The Last of Us demonstrates the potential for video game narratives to transcend medium-specific limitations, engaging audiences in discussions about morality, psychology, and human resilience. Its critical and commercial success has cemented its status as a landmark achievement in both gaming and television storytelling, showcasing the possibilities of adaptation when handled with fidelity, creativity, and respect for the source material. Season 2 continues the emotionally and morally complex storytelling established in the first season. Ellie's journey following Joel's death is both physically perilous and psychologically intense. Early episodes depict her grieving process, which is interwoven with her desire for vengeance. The narrative explores the cost of this pursuit on her psyche, highlighting the tension between justice and obsession. Ellie's decision to leave her community and confront those responsible for Joel's death signals her transformation from a young girl guided by paternal protection to a determined individual navigating her own moral code. The series emphasizes that survival in this world is not merely about avoiding physical threats but also about confronting the emotional and ethical consequences of one's choices. One of the most pivotal episodes in Season 2 centers on Ellie's pursuit of Abby, the woman responsible for Joel's death. The narrative intricately depicts Abby's perspective, humanizing her motivations and illustrating the cyclical nature of revenge. This duality, Ellie seeking retribution and Abby responding with her own moral justification, creates a morally gray landscape in which traditional notions of heroism and villainy are continually challenged. The confrontation between these characters is tense and emotionally charged, with cinematography focusing on expressions, body language, and subtle gestures to convey the intensity of their internal struggles. The storytelling avoids simplistic resolution; instead, it presents the consequences of violence and the difficulty of breaking cycles of vengeance, prompting viewers to reflect on the broader implications of these choices. Another significant episode focuses on Ellie and Dina's evolving relationship, which provides emotional grounding amid the narrative's violence and tension. The series uses these interactions to explore themes of intimacy, trust, and the need for human connection in a world dominated by fear and loss. Through dialogue, shared experiences, and moments of vulnerability, the audience gains insight into Ellie's emotional evolution and the coping mechanisms she employs to navigate trauma. These quieter, character-driven moments are juxtaposed with high-stakes sequences of combat and survival, reinforcing the narrative's balance between action and introspection. Throughout Season 2, the series continues to highlight the consequences of survival-driven moral compromise. Encounters with hostile factions, including the WLF and various rogue survivors, illustrate the harsh realities of a world without law. Characters are forced to make rapid decisions that often involve ethical ambiguity, further emphasizing the central themes of morality, survival, and the human cost of conflict. These sequences are meticulously choreographed, with attention to detail in both action staging and emotional context, ensuring that viewers experience the full weight of each decision and its consequences. The series' visual and auditory design remains a core strength in Season 2. The depiction of Seattle, overrun by abandoned structures and environmental decay, serves as both a literal and symbolic representation of societal collapse. Cinematography employs a mixture of sweeping aerial shots to convey scale and handheld, intimate framing to capture character-driven moments. Environmental storytelling, such as graffiti, remnants of daily life, and overgrowth, reinforces the narrative's realism and immerses viewers in the world. Sound design continues to be integral, with layered ambient sounds, strategic silence, and a haunting musical score enhancing the emotional resonance and tension of each scene. Key sequences, such as confrontations with infected or morally complex human antagonists, are underscored by a combination of diegetic and non-diegetic sound that heightens suspense and empathy simultaneously. Secondary characters introduced in Season 2, including Abby's allies and other survivors, serve to expand the moral and emotional landscape of the series. By exploring their motivations, past traumas, and survival strategies, the narrative emphasizes that human behavior in a post-apocalyptic world is shaped not only by immediate threats but also by history, relationships, and personal ethical frameworks. Each interaction contributes to the thematic exploration of morality, empathy, and the human capacity for both cruelty and compassion. The series consistently highlights that in a world stripped of social structures, survival is inseparable from ethical and emotional choices, and these choices define both individual character arcs and the broader narrative trajectory. The adaptation from video game to television series allows for a richer exploration of these themes. While the game's interactive mechanics engage players directly in survival challenges, the series translates these experiences into cinematic storytelling, emphasizing character agency, suspense, and moral complexity. Expanded narrative content provides additional insight into secondary characters, backstory, and environmental context, creating a fully realized world that goes beyond the interactive medium. Key sequences, such as Joel's ethical dilemma regarding Ellie's potential cure, are preserved, but the series also introduces nuanced scenes that deepen the audience's understanding of character motivations and thematic resonance. The dual perspective of Ellie and Abby in Season 2, for example, is a narrative innovation that provides a comprehensive exploration of moral ambiguity, a depth that would be challenging to achieve in a single-player game format. The series' thematic richness is further reinforced through recurring motifs and symbolic elements. The overgrown urban landscapes symbolize both nature's resilience and the collapse of human civilization, creating a visual metaphor for the tension between destruction and renewal. The infected serve as a constant reminder of the world's fragility and the thin line between humanity and monstrosity. Character relationships, particularly the evolving bond between Ellie and Dina, as well as the father-daughter-like connection between Joel and Ellie, underscore themes of love, loss, and the enduring human need for connection. Repetition of moral dilemmas and the consequences of violence throughout the narrative reinforces the series' meditation on ethics, highlighting the inescapable complexity of human behavior in extreme circumstances. Cultural reception of The Last of Us has been substantial, with critics and audiences praising its narrative, emotional depth, and production quality. The series has sparked extensive discussion about the adaptation of interactive media into linear storytelling, demonstrating that with careful attention to character, world building, and thematic exploration, video game narratives can be successfully translated to television. Fans of the original game appreciate the faithfulness to core story beats and character portrayals, while newcomers are drawn to the series' rich storytelling, moral complexity, and immersive world. Critical reviews frequently emphasize the series' ability to balance action, suspense, and character-driven drama, highlighting its status as a landmark adaptation in the realm of contemporary television. Fan theories and analyses have proliferated, exploring potential narrative expansions, character motivations, and future directions of the series. Discussions often focus on ethical questions raised by Joel and Ellie's choices, the cyclical nature of revenge, and the symbolic significance of recurring motifs. These conversations underscore the narrative's capacity to engage viewers intellectually and emotionally, prompting reflection on morality, resilience, and human nature. The series' expansive world-building also provides fertile ground for speculation, with fans analyzing environmental storytelling, character backstory, and the potential evolution of secondary factions in future seasons. Comparisons between the TV series and the video game reveal both fidelity and innovation. While key plot points are preserved to maintain the integrity of the original narrative, the series expands on secondary characters, environmental context, and moral exploration. The dual narrative perspective in Season 2, presenting both Ellie's and Abby's experiences, is a notable addition that enhances thematic depth and provides a more holistic view of the consequences of violence and ethical decision-making. Dialogue, character interactions, and world-building elements are adapted to optimize emotional engagement in a non-interactive medium, while action sequences are designed to maximize narrative tension and visual storytelling. These adaptations demonstrate the creative potential inherent in translating interactive media into linear television while respecting the source material's core essence. Ultimately, The Last of Us transcends traditional post-apocalyptic storytelling by intertwining survival, moral ambiguity, and emotional depth. The series emphasizes that in a world stripped of social structures, human relationships, ethical choices, and emotional resilience define both individual identity and communal survival. Through carefully developed character arcs, immersive production design, and thematic richness, the series engages viewers in a multidimensional exploration of humanity, morality, and the capacity for both destruction and hope. Joel's moral compromise, Ellie's evolution, Abby's perspective, and the experiences of secondary characters collectively construct a narrative that is as emotionally resonant as it is intellectually challenging, making The Last of Us a benchmark for narrative-driven television and a compelling study of human behavior under extreme conditions. The series' enduring impact is evidenced by its influence on popular culture, critical acclaim, and fan engagement. Its narrative innovations, thematic explorations, and high production values have set a precedent for future adaptations of video games and other interactive media. Moreover, its philosophical and emotional complexity invites audiences to reflect on morality, survival, and the human experience, establishing the series as not only an entertainment phenomenon but also a culturally and intellectually significant work. As the series progresses into subsequent seasons, it continues to expand on these themes, offering new perspectives, challenges, and ethical quandaries that ensure its relevance and resonance within contemporary media discourse. Through its intricate storytelling, richly realized characters, immersive world-building, and morally nuanced narrative, The Last of Us exemplifies the potential of television to elevate video game adaptations into artful explorations of humanity. Its combination of suspense, emotion, and ethical inquiry provides a deeply engaging experience that resonates long after individual episodes conclude. By addressing themes of grief, love, morality, resilience, and hope, the series transcends conventional genre boundaries, offering both entertainment and profound reflection. In doing so, The Last of Us secures its place as a landmark achievement in narrative television, a definitive example of the creative possibilities of adapting interactive media, and a compelling meditation on what it means to be human in a world that has lost its moral and societal anchors. As the series progresses into its later episodes, the narrative delves deeper into the psychological toll of survival, exploring the complex relationship between Joel and Ellie against the backdrop of a crumbling society. Season 1 lays the foundation for understanding both characters' motivations, traumas, and evolving morality. Joel, haunted by the loss of his daughter Sarah during the initial outbreak, initially presents as a pragmatic, sometimes cold, survivor who prioritizes his own safety. However, his interactions with Ellie gradually reveal layers of empathy, protectiveness, and paternal care, though these emotions are consistently tempered by his experiences in a world where trust is often a liability. Ellie, on the other hand, begins as a resourceful yet sheltered teenager, aware of the dangers of the post-pandemic world but still curious, optimistic, and moralistic in her judgments. Their journey together serves not only as a survival odyssey but also as a meditation on how human bonds endure and evolve under extreme stress. The Season 1 journey across the United States exposes both characters to a wide variety of human conditions and moral challenges. Cities lie in ruin, overgrown by nature, while rural towns struggle to maintain order amid scarcity of resources and rampant lawlessness. Key encounters along the way, such as with the morally ambiguous Bill, a survivalist who has fortified his town with intricate traps, highlight the ingenuity and desperation that arise from isolation. Encounters with the infected, including the terrifying clickers and aggressive runners, provide a constant physical threat, but it is often the human antagonists, the ruthless bandits, opportunistic scavengers, and ideologically driven groups, that create the most challenging moral dilemmas. The series emphasizes that in this world, survival is not guaranteed by strength alone, it demands intelligence, emotional resilience, and, at times, morally questionable decisions. One of the most pivotal moments of Season 1 is the moral and emotional climax surrounding the Firefly's laboratory. Joel faces a gut-wrenching decision: the only possible way to create a cure from Ellie's immunity would require her death. This moment crystallizes the series' recurring theme of personal attachment versus the greater good. Joel's choice to rescue Ellie, despite understanding the broader implications, underscores the deep paternal bond he has developed and establishes the moral complexity that defines much of the series. The decision is both heroic and morally ambiguous, forcing viewers to grapple with questions of ethics, love, and survival in a world where conventional morality is insufficient. The narrative's refusal to provide easy answers or traditional moral resolution is a defining feature, elevating the series above conventional post-apocalyptic storytelling. Season 2, set 5 years after the events of the first, explores the long-term consequences of Joel's decision and the evolving identity of Ellie as a survivor and moral agent in her own right. Their relationship is tested by time, distance, and the lingering trauma of their experiences. Joel continues to struggle with the consequences of his choices, facing tension not only from external threats but also from his own sense of guilt and responsibility. Ellie, meanwhile, navigates her own emerging sense of agency, questioning the morality of Joel's decisions while also confronting her capacity for vengeance, loyalty, and self-preservation. New characters introduced in this season, such as Dina, Jesse, and Abby, expand the narrative universe, providing perspectives that further complicate the moral landscape and challenge the audience to consider multiple viewpoints on justice, retribution, and survival ethics. The depiction of these new characters also allows the series to explore themes of community, love, and identity in a fractured world. Dina serves as both a companion and love interest for Ellie, illustrating how emotional connection persists even amidst pervasive danger and scarcity. Abby, whose arc is closely tied to the events of the video game's sequel, introduces themes of revenge, trauma, and redemption, further emphasizing the series' focus on the consequences of human choices. The interplay between these characters, combined with the relentless threat of the infected and human adversaries, creates a rich tapestry of interwoven narratives that highlight the resilience, fragility, and complexity of human emotion. From a production standpoint, the series demonstrates an exceptional commitment to authenticity, detail, and cinematic quality. Filming locations in Alberta, Canada, provide expansive natural vistas, abandoned urban structures, and post-apocalyptic environments that feel both haunting and immersive. The set design meticulously conveys the passage of time since the pandemic, illustrating the ways in which human communities adapt to prolonged scarcity and environmental decay. Costume design reflects practicality and survival needs while subtly conveying the socio-economic and psychological state of each character. Special effects and makeup, particularly for the depiction of the infected, strike a balance between realism and horror, creating creatures that are terrifying without becoming exaggerated caricatures. These production elements contribute to the series' immersive world building, enhancing both narrative tension and emotional resonance. The adaptation from video game to television required careful balance between fidelity to the source material and expansion of the narrative to suit an episodic format. Neil Druckmann, co-creator of the game, worked closely with Craig Mazin to ensure that the series preserved the essence of the game's story while enriching character development, backstory, and thematic depth. Scenes that were implied or briefly encountered in the game are expanded into full episodes, allowing audiences to understand motivations, relationships, and the psychological impact of the post-pandemic world. Dialogue is carefully crafted to reflect the emotional subtleties of each character, and the series takes advantage of television's pacing to allow moments of quiet introspection, tension building, and emotional revelation that are less feasible in interactive media. Critically, The Last of Us has been praised for its sophisticated exploration of trauma, morality, and survival. Reviewers highlight its ability to maintain suspense and action while simultaneously delving into complex character psychology. Unlike many adaptations that struggle to translate video games into compelling narrative television, the series has been lauded for respecting the source material's themes, character arcs, and emotional stakes. Audience reception reflects this success. It became one of the most watched debuts in HBO history, attracting both fans of the original game and newcomers to the story. Its impact is further evidenced by widespread discussions on social media, critical essays, and analyses that examine the series' approach to morality, human resilience, and the ethical dilemmas inherent in survival narratives. Thematically, the series is concerned with questions of human nature, ethical compromise, and the enduring power of emotional bonds. Joel and Ellie's journey demonstrates that survival is not merely physical but deeply emotional and moral. The series repeatedly confronts viewers with scenarios in which the right choice is ambiguous, forcing reflection on what it means to protect, love, and survive. Themes of revenge, loss, guilt, and hope are interwoven with the constant tension of danger from both infected and human antagonists, creating a narrative that is intellectually engaging and emotionally affecting. This moral complexity distinguishes The Last of Us from typical post-apocalyptic media, positioning it as a story that resonates on multiple levels, from thrill and horror to reflection on the human condition. The series' music and sound design also contribute significantly to its emotional impact. The score, composed with attention to mood, tension, and character emotion, enhances the storytelling by subtly influencing the viewer's perception of danger, intimacy, and suspense. Ambient sounds, from the eerie quiet of abandoned cities to the unsettling noises of the infected, immerse audiences in the world's tension and unpredictability. Voice performances, sound mixing, and musical cues are carefully coordinated to support the narrative without overwhelming it, resulting in an auditory experience that complements the visual and thematic depth of the series. As the series advances into its middle and later episodes, the tension escalates, both in terms of physical danger and emotional stakes. Each episode is meticulously crafted to balance action, suspense, and introspective character development. One of the most iconic sequences occurs when Joel and Ellie must navigate an abandoned city overrun with clickers. The clickers, a highly evolved form of the infected, are blind but possess acute hearing, creating a tense environment in which silence is paramount. The cinematography during these sequences is masterful. Long, unbroken takes allow the audience to feel the weight of every footstep and the ever-present threat of detection. This sequence is emblematic of the series' ability to transform a simple survival scenario into a nerve-wracking exploration of tension, strategy, and psychological strain. Beyond suspense, the series emphasizes the ingenuity and resourcefulness required for survival. Joel and Ellie frequently improvise weapons, utilize environmental traps, and develop strategies for stealth to avoid both human and infected threats. The show highlights the importance of scavenging for essentials such as food, ammunition, and medical supplies, often turning ordinary objects into critical survival tools. These elements, while grounded in realism, also provide opportunities for character development, as moments of ingenuity often reveal emotional resilience, problem-solving ability, and the strengthening bond between Joel and Ellie. Their cooperation becomes increasingly symbiotic, with each relying on the other's strengths to navigate the constant dangers of a world where human life is precarious. The infected themselves are central to both the narrative and the thematic depth of the series. Different types of infected present varied challenges, reflecting stages of the cordyceps infection and the passage of time. Runners are newly infected humans whose behaviors are erratic and highly aggressive, representing the initial phase of the outbreak. Clickers, blind but deadly, embody the creeping inevitability of infection, while more grotesquely mutated forms, such as bloaters, represent extreme and almost insurmountable threats. The design and depiction of these creatures are a careful blend of practical effects and CGI, emphasizing the grotesque realism of their appearance and behavior. Encounters with infected are not only physically threatening but symbolically reinforce the series' broader themes of human vulnerability, decay, and the ever-present tension between hope and despair. Several episodes delve into the broader human world, exploring the social dynamics of post-apocalyptic communities. Survivor factions display a range of moral approaches, from rigid militarized groups that enforce harsh order to scattered individuals surviving through cunning, manipulation, or opportunism. Joel and Ellie's interactions with these communities illustrate the complexities of trust and ethical decision-making in a lawless environment. In one episode, the protagonists encounter a group whose ethical codes conflict with Joel's moral framework, resulting in tension, negotiation, and conflict. These interactions force the characters, and the audience, to grapple with the ambiguous nature of morality, emphasizing that survival often entails morally complex choices rather than clear-cut solutions. Character backstories continue to enrich the narrative. Joel's trauma, rooted in the loss of his daughter Sarah, serves as a constant emotional undertone throughout the series. His interactions with Ellie often reflect a protective paternal instinct, though this instinct is complicated by his personal fears and experiences. Ellie's backstory, including her relationship with Riley Abel and her formative experiences within the confines of the post-apocalyptic world, provides context for her resilience, adaptability, and occasional impulsivity. These histories are woven seamlessly into the episodic structure, ensuring that viewers understand the motivations and emotional depth of the characters without disrupting the momentum of the survival narrative. The series also expands upon themes present in the original video game while taking advantage of the television format to explore nuances in human behavior. Where the game primarily emphasizes action and player agency, the show delves more deeply into character psychology, ethical dilemmas, and interpersonal dynamics. For example, secondary characters receive expanded narrative arcs that explore their motivations, fears, and ethical compromises, giving the audience a more holistic understanding of the moral universe the series inhabits. Additionally, certain narrative threads are explored with greater subtlety, such as Joel's inner conflict about the cost of protecting Ellie versus the broader implications for humanity, providing layers of philosophical and ethical complexity that resonate beyond the immediate survival stakes. Iconic scenes throughout the series underscore the emotional and narrative power of the adaptation. Quiet moments, such as Joel and Ellie sharing stories around a fire, interspersed with sudden bursts of violence or suspense, reinforce the unpredictable nature of life in a world dominated by fear and scarcity. These contrasts heighten the audience's emotional engagement, allowing moments of tenderness, humor, or connection to carry greater weight against the backdrop of danger. Moreover, the series frequently uses environmental storytelling, such as abandoned homes, personal mementos, or graffiti, to communicate the history and losses experienced by those who once inhabited the world, reinforcing the themes of decay, resilience, and the human capacity for adaptation. Foreshadowing for future seasons is also subtly integrated. Hints about the Firefly's ongoing research, Ellie's evolving understanding of her immunity, and the moral and psychological consequences of Joel's decisions all point toward the narrative arcs that will likely define Season 2. The series closes its first season with a tension-filled climax that simultaneously resolves certain storylines while leaving significant questions unanswered, maintaining narrative momentum and audience anticipation. This careful balance between resolution and foreshadowing exemplifies the series' thoughtful approach to serialized storytelling, ensuring that viewers remain invested in both the immediate journey and the overarching narrative trajectory. Finally, the philosophical and moral themes underpinning the series are consistently reinforced through the protagonist's choices and experiences. Survival in The Last of Us is never straightforward, every decision carries ethical weight and long-term consequences. Trust, loyalty, sacrifice, and the tension between personal attachment and the greater good are recurring motifs that shape the characters' journeys. Joel and Ellie's evolving bond illustrates the human need for connection, even amidst extreme adversity, while their encounters with both infected and human antagonists explore the consequences of moral compromise and the fragility of societal norms. The series' ability to merge high-stakes survival with nuanced ethical exploration distinguishes it from typical post-apocalyptic narratives, establishing it as a compelling study of human resilience, morality, and emotional depth. The culmination of The Last of Us television series, when viewed in its entirety, reveals not just a gripping post-apocalyptic adventure, but a profound exploration of humanity, morality, and survival. Beyond the immediate tension of surviving infected hordes and hostile humans, the series interrogates the psychological and philosophical dimensions of a world stripped of social order. Ethical dilemmas permeate every narrative arc, from Joel's morally complex decisions to Ellie's evolving sense of justice and agency. The series resists simplistic categorization of characters as heroes or villains. Instead, it presents a spectrum of human behavior shaped by trauma, necessity, love, and revenge. By engaging viewers in this moral ambiguity, the series invites reflection on the ethical compromises individuals make under extreme circumstances and the consequences those choices have not only on themselves but on the broader social fabric. The post-apocalyptic setting functions as a narrative mirror, reflecting both the fragility and resilience of human society. Quarantine zones, self-sufficient settlements, and revolutionary groups like the Fireflies demonstrate various strategies for societal reconstruction, governance, and survival under extreme scarcity. The series emphasizes that human ingenuity persists even amidst devastation, while also highlighting the tension between community survival and individual desire. Episodes frequently juxtapose human connection against ethical compromise, illustrating the cost of both loyalty and betrayal. These thematic explorations elevate the series beyond conventional action-driven storytelling, allowing it to serve as a meditation on the human condition under pressure, the morality of survival, and the enduring importance of empathy and connection. Music and cinematography play pivotal roles in reinforcing these themes. Gustavo Santaolall's minimalist yet emotionally potent score underscores the characters' internal struggles, while the visual composition of scenes, through lighting, framing, and camera movement, immerses viewers in a world that is simultaneously beautiful, haunting, and perilous. The interplay of sound and image enhances the narrative, ensuring that every encounter, whether violent, tender, or contemplative, resonates with emotional weight. The visual representation of decayed urban environments, overgrown landscapes, and improvised human dwellings not only contributes to realism but also symbolically reflects the collapse and slow rebirth of human civilization. Every visual detail, from a cracked window to graffiti on abandoned walls, communicates the passage of time, the resilience of life, and the traces of human presence in a world reclaimed by nature. The ethical complexity embedded in the series is particularly evident in pivotal moments where characters' decisions have irreversible consequences. Joel's choice to save Ellie at the end of the first season, for instance, catalyzes the events of subsequent seasons, framing debates about the morality of protecting loved ones versus the greater good. Ellie's responses to betrayal, loss, and violence further complicate the narrative, highlighting the psychological cost of survival and the tension between personal ethics and pragmatic necessity. The series presents these dilemmas without offering clear answers, challenging viewers to engage with the narrative critically and consider how they might respond in similar circumstances. This moral ambiguity is a defining feature of the series, distinguishing it from other post-apocalyptic narratives that rely on binary notions of good and evil. Global reception has cemented the series' status as a cultural phenomenon. Fans across diverse regions have engaged deeply with the narrative, creating analyses, fan fiction, artwork, and discussion forums dedicated to exploring character motivations, ethical quandaries, and thematic resonance. Critics have praised the series not only for its technical excellence, acting, production design, cinematography, and sound, but also for its sophisticated storytelling, emotional depth, and the successful translation of a complex video game narrative into a serialized television format. The series' success has sparked broader conversations about the legitimacy of video game narratives as source material for mainstream media, challenging long-standing assumptions about the artistic potential of interactive entertainment. In doing so, The Last of Us has become a reference point for future adaptations, demonstrating that careful attention to character development, ethical complexity, and narrative fidelity can yield critically and commercially successful outcomes. The cancelled movie adaptation, while never realized, played a crucial role in shaping the trajectory of the franchise. Initial efforts to condense the expansive narrative into a single feature film proved insufficient to capture the emotional and ethical nuances of the story. The transition to a serialized television format allowed for a more comprehensive exploration of character, theme, and setting, proving that certain narratives require temporal space to fully develop. This decision underscores the importance of medium-appropriate storytelling, particularly when adapting complex source material. The series' success validates this choice, illustrating how fidelity to the narrative's depth and tone, combined with thoughtful expansion, can result in a richer, more engaging storytelling experience. Future seasons promise to continue this trajectory, exploring previously untold storylines and integrating new characters, settings, and moral dilemmas. The ongoing collaboration between Neil Druckmann, Craig Mazin, and the production team ensures continuity of vision, while the serialized format allows for experimentation in narrative structure, character focus, and thematic exploration. Potential adaptations of elements from The Last of Us Part 2, including the introduction of characters like Abby and deeper exploration of revenge, trauma, and forgiveness, offer opportunities to further expand the narrative universe while maintaining coherence with the foundational story. The creative team's commitment to authenticity, character depth, and thematic resonance suggests that future installments will continue to challenge, move, and engage audiences on both intellectual and emotional levels. Ultimately, The Last of Us represents a landmark achievement in storytelling, demonstrating the potential of video game narratives to be translated into high-quality serialized television. Its success is rooted in the meticulous attention to detail, the depth of character development, the careful balancing of action and contemplation, and the exploration of complex ethical and philosophical themes. The series exemplifies how adaptation can honor source material while leveraging the strengths of a new medium, resulting in a work that resonates across cultural, linguistic, and generational boundaries. By presenting a post-apocalyptic world that is at once perilous, morally complex, and emotionally compelling, the series reaffirms the enduring power of storytelling to explore human resilience, empathy, and ethical reflection. In conclusion, The Last of Us television series stands as both an exceptional adaptation and a profound exploration of humanity in extremis. It transcends the limitations of conventional post-apocalyptic narratives through its nuanced portrayal of character, its ethical complexity, and its immersive world-building. By carefully balancing the fidelity to its video game origins with the creative possibilities of serialized television, the series achieves a rare combination of critical acclaim, fan engagement, and cultural significance. Its impact is evident not only in viewership numbers and industry accolades but also in the ongoing discourse it generates about morality, survival, and human connection. As future seasons and narrative expansions unfold, the series is poised to continue shaping the landscape of television, video game adaptations, and post-apocalyptic storytelling for years to come, leaving a lasting legacy that underscores the power of thoughtful, emotionally resonant, and ethically complex storytelling. By the culmination of the narrative arcs explored in The Last of Us, both in its original game form and the HBO television adaptation, the story emerges as more than a survival tale. It becomes a meditation on the human condition, ethics, and the emotional landscape of life under extreme duress. The journey of Joel and Ellie, from a reluctant partnership to a profoundly bonded father-daughter dynamic, embodies the narrative's central exploration of morality, love, and resilience. Joel's decisions, particularly his choice to save Ellie from the Fireflies, resonate deeply because they encapsulate the tension between personal attachment and the perceived greater good. This act, while controversial, forces the audience to confront the complexities of ethical decision-making in life-and-death scenarios, challenging simplistic notions of right and wrong. The narrative's refusal to provide tidy moral resolutions elevates it, encouraging introspection and debate long after individual episodes or chapters conclude. Ellie's growth is equally central to the story's emotional resonance. From a child thrust prematurely into a world of danger and uncertainty, she evolves into a character of agency, moral discernment, and resilience. Her perspective offers audiences a lens into the psychological and emotional toll of survival in a world stripped of societal norms. Ellie embodies hope, curiosity, and the capacity for ethical reasoning, serving as a counterpoint to Joel's hardened pragmatism. Their evolving relationship, characterized by moments of trust, conflict, humor, and shared trauma, illustrates that human connection is both fragile and essential, capable of providing strength even amidst profound adversity. Supporting characters further enrich the narrative, providing a spectrum of human responses to catastrophe. Figures such as Tess, Marlene, Bill, Frank, Tommy, Abby, and Dina exemplify the diverse ways individuals navigate a collapsed society. Tessa's sacrifice underscores loyalty and pragmatism, Marlene's ethical mission highlights utilitarian morality, Bill and Frank's love story demonstrates the persistence of intimacy in isolation, Abby's quest for revenge examines justice and retribution, and Dina's bond with Ellie illuminates the importance of trust, affection, and vulnerability. Each character arc contributes to the story's exploration of ethical ambiguity, illustrating that morality is often contextual, complex, and influenced by both personal history and circumstance. The series' production choices amplify these themes. HBO's adaptation, co-developed by Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann, demonstrates a meticulous commitment to authenticity, emotional depth, and visual storytelling. Locations, set designs, and environmental details evoke a world reclaimed by nature, abandoned by humanity yet still rich with narrative possibility. Cinematography, lighting, and framing enhance emotional resonance, drawing attention to character interactions, moral dilemmas, and the psychological weight of survival. Gustavo Santaolalla's score, adapted from the video game, reinforces the series' emotional core, bridging moments of tension and reflection with subtle musical motifs that accentuate loss, hope, and the fragility of human life. From a production history perspective, the journey of The Last of Us from video game to television series is emblematic of the evolution of storytelling across media. Initial attempts to adapt the story into a feature film faced numerous obstacles, including challenges in condensing a multi-hour interactive narrative into a 2-hour cinematic format. The project ultimately stalled, yet the narrative's enduring popularity ensured its adaptation into a medium capable of preserving its depth and nuance. The episodic television format allowed for expanded exploration of character development, ethical complexity, and world building, demonstrating that careful adaptation can preserve and enhance the impact of original interactive narratives. The cultural impact of The Last of Us is extensive. Critically acclaimed and widely discussed, the series has sparked conversations about narrative ethics, character psychology, and the potential of video games as art forms. Social media, academic discussions, and fan communities engage with the story on multiple levels, analyzing plot decisions, character motivations, and moral consequences. Its success demonstrates that interactive media narratives, when adapted thoughtfully, can achieve resonance comparable to literature, film, or traditional television storytelling. The series' influence extends to both entertainment and cultural discourse, setting a benchmark for future adaptations and fostering appreciation for ethically and emotionally complex narratives. Awards and recognition underscore this impact. The series has been lauded for performances, writing, production design, cinematography, and sound design, with Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey's portrayals receiving particular praise for capturing the emotional complexity of their characters. Critical reviews highlight the series' ability to maintain narrative fidelity to the source material while expanding its scope and depth. This combination of fidelity, innovation, and emotional resonance has positioned The Last of Us as a landmark achievement in cross-media storytelling, influencing both creators and audiences in the perception and execution of adaptations. Ultimately, The Last of Us is a story of contrasts and tensions, survival and morality, love and loss, hope and despair, innocence and experience. Its strength lies in its commitment to character-driven storytelling, ethical complexity, and immersive world-building, ensuring that it resonates on multiple levels. The narrative is not content to offer simplistic solutions, instead, it presents a realistic depiction of the human condition in extremis, highlighting that ethical decision-making, emotional resilience, and interpersonal bonds are central to what it means to survive and retain humanity. The legacy of The Last of Us will likely endure for decades. Its impact on both the video game industry and television adaptation practices demonstrates the potential for narratives to transcend medium-specific limitations. Its exploration of moral ambiguity, emotional depth, and human resilience has established a standard for storytelling that is both intellectually stimulating and emotionally compelling. The characters of Joel and Ellie, along with the rich tapestry of supporting figures, serve as enduring archetypes of ethical complexity, emotional growth, and the interplay between survival and morality. In conclusion, The Last of Us stands as a seminal example of contemporary storytelling. Its evolution from a critically acclaimed video game to an award-winning television series illustrates the possibilities inherent in thoughtful adaptation, while its exploration of survival, ethics, and human connection ensures its relevance and resonance with audiences across generations. The journey of Joel and Ellie, set against a meticulously crafted post-apocalyptic landscape, exemplifies the enduring power of narrative to explore the human experience, challenge moral assumptions, and engage audiences in profound emotional and intellectual reflection. Its influence on the fields of gaming, television, and cultural discourse underscores its status as a landmark work, a story that transcends its medium and becomes a touchstone for understanding the complexity, resilience, and moral fabric of humanity in the face of extreme adversity. Through meticulous world-building, morally complex storytelling, immersive performances, and ethical inquiry, The Last of Us achieves a rare synthesis of entertainment, artistry, and philosophical reflection. It demonstrates that even in worlds ravaged by catastrophe, the enduring themes of love, loyalty, morality, and human connection remain central, offering not only suspenseful and gripping narratives but also enduring lessons about the essence of humanity itself. Its story, characters, and impact will continue to inspire and resonate, ensuring that The Last of Us remains a defining work in both interactive and visual media for years to come. One of the most compelling aspects of The Last of Us as a television adaptation is the way it expands upon the source material while maintaining fidelity to the game's core narrative and emotional resonance. While the game primarily focuses on player-driven choices and interactive gameplay to convey survival, tension, and ethical decision-making, the show leverages the strengths of serialized television to explore character psychology, interpersonal dynamics, and world-building in greater depth. For instance, the television series provides expanded backstories for secondary characters such as Tess, Bill, and Tommy, giving their motivations and moral codes more screen time than in the game. These expansions serve to enrich the narrative, making the world feel lived in and morally complex, while emphasizing the consequences of human decisions in a lawless environment. Additional dialogue, flashbacks, and intimate moments between characters allow audiences to understand the emotional weight of past traumas, the psychological toll of prolonged survival, and the formation of human bonds under extreme circumstances. The production process itself reflects a meticulous attention to detail and a commitment to authenticity. Filming primarily took place in Alberta, Canada, where natural landscapes were utilized to recreate the diverse settings of post-apocalyptic America. Urban decay, overgrown wilderness, and dilapidated infrastructure were brought to life through a combination of practical set design and CGI. The filmmakers deliberately emphasized realism, ensuring that environments looked lived in and plausible, whether depicting abandoned houses, schools, shopping centers, or military checkpoints. Every set piece carried narrative significance. Graffiti hinted at lost hope, scattered belongings suggested the lives of former inhabitants, and improvised traps or barricades reflected the ingenuity required to survive. This attention to environmental storytelling allowed viewers to immerse themselves fully in the world and feel the tension and stakes that the characters faced. Cinematography played a crucial role in conveying mood, emotion, and narrative tension. Long, unbroken shots were often employed during tense encounters with infected or hostile humans, creating a sense of immersion and realism that heightened suspense. Contrasting wide, open shots of wilderness with tight, claustrophobic framing in urban ruins reinforced both the scale of the world and the vulnerability of the characters. Lighting and color grading were carefully calibrated to communicate shifts in tone. Muted palettes conveyed desolation and despair, while warm, natural lighting in fleeting moments of calm highlighted human connection and hope. These visual techniques complemented the narrative, creating a cohesive sensory experience that elevated the emotional impact of each scene. Music and sound design further enhanced the series' storytelling. Gustavo Santaolalla, the original composer for the video game, returned to score the television adaptation, bringing his signature emotional subtlety to key moments. Sparse, haunting compositions underscored introspective or tense sequences, while environmental sound design, rustling leaves, distant echoes, footsteps on broken concrete, added realism and heightened tension. The absence of music during moments of suspense often amplified dread, allowing naturalistic soundscapes to immerse the audience fully in the precarious post-apocalyptic environment. The careful integration of music and sound reinforced the emotional resonance of the story, whether in intimate character moments, action sequences, or encounters with the infected. In terms of critical reception, The Last of Us has been widely praised by both critics and audiences. Reviewers consistently highlight the series' fidelity to the source material, strong performances by Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, and its sophisticated exploration of ethical dilemmas and human relationships. The adaptation has been recognized as a benchmark for video game to television transitions, demonstrating that faithful, character-driven storytelling can succeed beyond interactive mediums. The series has also been lauded for its visual authenticity, immersive production design, and nuanced approach to post-apocalyptic survival. It achieved one of the highest viewership ratings for HBO in recent years, cementing its status as both a critical and commercial success. The cultural impact has been notable, generating widespread discussion about morality, survival ethics, and the emotional depth of video game narratives translated to television. The series also garnered several award nominations for performance, production design, sound design, and writing, further validating its quality and impact. Fans and critics alike have praised the expansion of the game's story to explore psychological and moral nuances, while maintaining the tension, pacing, and emotional weight that made the original narrative compelling. Discussions about the series frequently highlight how it elevates the post-apocalyptic genre by merging survival horror, moral complexity, and deep emotional storytelling in a way that resonates with both gamers and general audiences. Foreshadowing and narrative threads for Season 2 are woven subtly throughout the first season. Hints about the Firefly's continuing research, Ellie's growing understanding of her immunity, and the evolving dynamics between Joel and other characters establish potential storylines for future exploration. The season finale resolves certain plot threads, providing closure for immediate narrative arcs, but leaves significant questions unanswered, particularly regarding ethical choices, the consequences of human actions, and the broader fate of society in the post-apocalyptic world. These unresolved threads serve as narrative hooks for Season 2, promising further exploration of character development, moral dilemmas, and survival challenges in increasingly complex circumstances. The audience anticipation for the next season is heightened by the series' careful balance of closure and foreshadowing. By blending action, suspense, psychological depth, and philosophical inquiry, The Last of Us has established itself as a landmark adaptation. Its success demonstrates the potential for video game narratives to be transformed into rich, emotionally resonant television experiences, provided that careful attention is paid to character development, world building, and thematic exploration. The show's combination of compelling performances, immersive production, and thoughtful storytelling ensures that it remains a standout in the post-apocalyptic genre, with a lasting impact on both fans of the game and broader audiences seeking high-quality drama and suspense. Season 2 of The Last of Us represents a dramatic evolution of the story, both in narrative complexity and emotional depth. Set 5 years after the events of the first season, it explores the psychological consequences of Joel's choice to save Ellie and the long-term ramifications of living in a morally compromised world. The time jump allows for substantial character development. Joel and Ellie are no longer merely survivors navigating dangerous terrain, they are individuals shaped by trauma, loss, and the burdens of past decisions. Joel has retreated somewhat from his role as protector, seeking to establish a semblance of normalcy and routine, yet the weight of guilt over his choices continues to define him. Ellie, now older and more self-aware, grapples with her emerging understanding of the consequences of survival, justice, and revenge, illustrating the maturation of her moral framework. The shift in focus to these psychological and emotional dimensions sets Season 2 apart from traditional post-apocalyptic narratives that prioritize action over internal development. A central theme of Season 2 is the exploration of revenge, accountability, and the cyclical nature of violence. The narrative introduces Abby, a character whose motivations are intertwined with events from the original game, representing the consequences of Joel's decisions from a different perspective. Abby's story emphasizes that actions, even those taken with love or necessity, ripple outward and affect other lives in profound ways. The inclusion of multiple perspectives challenges the audience to reconsider earlier judgments of right and wrong, creating a morally gray landscape in which no character is wholly heroic or villainous. Ellie's journey intersects with Abby's in ways that test her capacity for forgiveness, self-restraint, and ethical judgment, providing a narrative tension that is both gripping and thought-provoking. These themes are mirrored in secondary storylines, such as Ellie's relationship with Dina and the challenges of forming a family and community in a fractured world. Ellie's emotional arc in Season 2 is particularly compelling, illustrating the complex interplay between trauma, resilience, and emerging identity. She confronts the lingering impact of Joel's actions on her life and the lives of others, while navigating the responsibilities and vulnerabilities inherent in her unique immunity to the infection. Her interactions with Dina highlight the human need for connection, intimacy, and emotional support, even when external circumstances make such bonds perilous. Similarly, Joel's ongoing struggle with guilt, protection, and paternal attachment is explored through moments of introspection, dialogue, and interaction with both familiar and new characters. The depth of character exploration in Season 2 allows the audience to empathize with multiple perspectives, enriching the narrative beyond simple survival or action-driven storytelling. The expansion of secondary characters in Season 2 serves to deepen the moral and thematic complexity of the series. Dina, portrayed with nuance and emotional depth, embodies the duality of hope and practicality in a post-apocalyptic world. Her relationship with Ellie provides both a reprieve from constant tension and an avenue to explore themes of love, trust, and personal growth. Jessie, another new character, offers a counterpoint in terms of loyalty, pragmatism, and the risks inherent in forming attachments in a world dominated by scarcity and danger. Abby's arc, which delves into the motivations and emotional consequences of vengeance, emphasizes the series' commitment to exploring human complexity. By expanding the narrative lens to include multiple perspectives, the series examines the ways in which trauma, ethics, and survival intersect, challenging viewers to confront the ambiguity of human morality. From a production standpoint, Season 2 demonstrates even greater ambition in scope and technical execution. Filming continued in North America, with locations chosen for their ability to convey both the beauty and danger of a post-pandemic landscape. The series makes extensive use of natural environments to create visually stunning scenes that also reinforce narrative tension. Urban ruins, overgrown wilderness, and improvised settlements serve as more than just backdrops, they are integral to the storytelling, reflecting the ingenuity, desperation, and adaptation of human survivors. Cinematography and lighting are carefully designed to enhance mood, whether highlighting the bleakness of desolation, the intimacy of human connection, or the suspense of impending danger. Practical effects, stunts, and choreography are employed to create realistic and emotionally impactful action sequences that support rather than overshadow the character-driven story. The adaptation process from video game to television is further refined in Season 2. While the first season largely followed the narrative structure of the original game, Season 2 introduces additional layers of storytelling, expanding plotlines and character arcs in ways that deepen thematic exploration. Certain events from the game are reimagined to better suit the episodic format, allowing for more gradual character development and tension building. Dialogue, pacing, and narrative structure are tailored to a television audience, ensuring that both longtime fans of the game and new viewers can engage with the story meaningfully. This careful balance between fidelity to the source material and creative expansion has been widely praised, with critics noting that the series successfully captures the emotional essence of the game while providing new insights and depth. Music and sound design continue to play a critical role in Season 2, with the score enhancing both tension and emotional resonance. Compositional motifs are used to underscore character development, highlight thematic elements, and create a sense of continuity across episodes. The soundscape of the series is meticulously crafted, from the haunting ambient sounds of abandoned cities to the unsettling noises of the infected, providing an immersive auditory experience that complements the narrative. Voice performances are consistent and nuanced, allowing actors to convey complex emotional states through tone, cadence, and subtle inflection. These elements, combined with the cinematography and production design, create a cohesive and compelling sensory experience that reinforces the series' storytelling ambitions. Critical reception of Season 2 reflects appreciation for both its narrative ambition and emotional depth. Reviewers have highlighted the series' willingness to confront morally complex issues, such as the consequences of revenge, the ethics of survival, and the emotional costs of attachment and loss. Audience response has similarly praised the series for its character-driven storytelling, high production values, and fidelity to the thematic essence of the video game. The series has been noted for its capacity to generate discussion and debate, particularly regarding the moral ambiguity of its characters' decisions and the broader philosophical questions it raises about human nature in extreme circumstances. Comparisons to the original video game illuminate the series' success in adaptation. While the game provided a framework of events, characters, and moral dilemmas, the series has expanded upon these elements to explore deeper emotional and psychological dimensions. Secondary characters receive richer backstories, moral conflicts are more fully examined, and thematic questions are presented with greater subtlety. This approach allows the series to stand on its own as a narrative work, offering new insights even to viewers familiar with the game. Moreover, the visual realism, cinematography, and performance-based storytelling provide a different experiential medium than interactive gameplay, demonstrating the unique strengths of episodic television as a platform for adaptation. Thematically, Season 2 continues to interrogate the boundaries of morality, the weight of trauma, and the endurance of human connection. Characters are consistently confronted with dilemmas in which no choice is purely ethical or safe, emphasizing the complexity of survival in a collapsed society. The series highlights the psychological and emotional cost of violence, attachment, and loss, revealing how past decisions reverberate through time and affect both self-perception and interpersonal relationships. By exploring these themes through the intertwined arcs of multiple characters, the series creates a rich, morally textured narrative that challenges audiences to reflect on human behavior under extreme conditions. The Last of Us is a post-apocalyptic story that has captured the imagination of millions of fans around the world. Originally created as a video game by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment in 2013, it was immediately recognized not only for its engaging gameplay but also for its emotionally powerful narrative, which explores themes of survival, morality, and human connection in a devastated world. The story is set 20 years after a fungal pandemic caused by a mutated cordyceps fungus has decimated civilization, turning infected humans into violent, zombie-like creatures. Society has fractured into isolated quarantine zones, militias, and rogue survivalist groups, each struggling to maintain some semblance of order amid chaos. The main protagonist, Joel, is a hardened survivor who has suffered profound personal loss. At the start of the outbreak, he loses his young daughter, Sarah, a tragedy that defines his emotionally closed-off character. Over the course of the story, Joel is tasked with escorting a 14-year-old girl named Ellie across the United States, from a heavily militarized quarantine zone in Boston to a rebel group known as the Fireflies, who believe she may hold the key to developing a cure for the infection due to her unique immunity. As Joel and Ellie journey through ruined cities, abandoned towns, and hostile wilderness, they encounter both infected humans and desperate, often violent, survivors who challenge their morality and determination. The journey is perilous, filled with moments of intense action, suspense, and personal drama. Joel and Ellie form a deep bond that evolves from reluctant partnership to something resembling a father-daughter relationship. Along the way, they encounter Tess, Joel's partner at the start of the mission, who sacrifices herself to protect their journey, and Marlene, the leader of the Fireflies, whose commitment to a potential cure for humanity creates moral tension with Joel's protective instincts toward Ellie. Additional key characters such as Bill and Frank, a couple who survive in an isolated town, provide insight into how human relationships endure even in a world filled with danger, while other characters like Tommy, Joel's brother, illustrate the complexities of loyalty and survival in the post-pandemic world. Throughout the story, the narrative continuously explores the tension between survival and humanity, examining the choices people make under extreme circumstances and the emotional consequences of those choices. While the original plan was to adapt The Last of Us into a Hollywood film, the project fell into what is commonly called development hell and was ultimately cancelled. The film was to be produced by Sam Raimi with a script written by Neil Druckmann, the co-creator of the game, but it never came to fruition. Instead, the story found its way to television, where it became an HBO series co-developed by Craig Mazin, known for his work on Chernobyl, and Neil Druckmann. The series preserves the essence of the original game while expanding its world and characters, creating a visually immersive and emotionally resonant adaptation. Pedro Pascal was cast as Joel, bringing depth and nuance to the role of a survivor grappling with loss and moral ambiguity, while Bella Ramsey plays Ellie, portraying the character's resilience, wit, and emotional vulnerability. The supporting cast includes Merle Dandridge as Marlene, Anna Torv as Tess, Nick Offerman as Bill, Murray Bartlett as Frank, Caitlin Dever as Abby, and Isabella Merced as Dina, among others. Each actor contributes to the complex web of relationships that drive the story forward. The series premiered on January 15, 2023, on HBO in the United States and quickly gained acclaim from both critics and audiences for its storytelling, performances, and fidelity to the source material. Subsequent seasons have been planned, with Season 2 premiering in 2025 and Season 3 confirmed for 2027, continuing to explore the evolving relationships and moral dilemmas of the characters as they navigate the harsh realities of their world. Although there is no movie trailer, the HBO series has multiple trailers and teasers that showcase the tone and intensity of the story, highlighting both the perilous adventures of Joel and Ellie and the intimate moments that define their relationship. The series has been praised for its ability to translate the emotional depth of the video game into live-action storytelling, setting a benchmark for future video game adaptations. Beyond entertainment, The Last of Us resonates with audiences for its exploration of human resilience, empathy, and the ethical questions that arise when society collapses. It examines how people balance self-preservation with compassion, how trauma shapes relationships, and how hope persists even in the bleakest circumstances. From the development of the original game to the adaptation into a television series, The Last of Us has remained a cultural phenomenon, inspiring discussions about narrative complexity, character development, and the challenges of adapting interactive media to visual storytelling. Its impact is seen not only in its critical success but also in its influence on subsequent storytelling in video games and television, demonstrating the power of character-driven narratives to engage audiences on an emotional level. The world building, attention to detail, and exploration of moral ambiguity have made it a benchmark for post-apocalyptic fiction. The journey of Joel and Ellie is emblematic of the broader human experience in times of crisis, showing that even in a world ravaged by disease, violence, and despair, relationships and personal choices define the essence of survival. The series' visual style, performances, and adherence to the tone of the original game have helped it resonate with both longtime fans and newcomers, establishing The Last of Us as a landmark example of cross-media storytelling and ensuring its legacy in contemporary entertainment. The story's ability to combine intense action sequences with deeply personal, emotional storytelling makes it a unique and enduring work. From the original game's immersive mechanics to the series' visual and narrative fidelity, every element contributes to a holistic experience that emphasizes both survival and humanity. In essence, The Last of Us represents a modern myth of survival, love, and moral struggle, demonstrating the profound impact storytelling can have when it engages both the mind and the heart. Its journey from a video game to a cancelled film project to a critically acclaimed television series highlights the evolving landscape of entertainment and the potential for narratives to thrive across different media, connecting with audiences in ways that are emotionally, intellectually, and culturally significant. The combination of stellar performances, compelling storytelling, rich character development, and meticulous world-building ensures that The Last of Us will continue to be celebrated as one of the most influential and emotionally resonant stories of its generation. The Last of Us begins not in the chaos of post-apocalyptic America but in the quiet, seemingly ordinary moments that precede catastrophe. The world depicted in the story is one that might have been familiar to anyone living in a modern society, a society marked by suburban neighborhoods, schools, hospitals, and bustling city streets. Yet, beneath this normalcy lies the potential for collapse, a fragility that becomes tragically evident when the outbreak occurs. The inciting event is a fungal infection caused by a mutated strain of cordyceps, a real-world fungus known to infect insects but reimagined in this narrative as a pathogen capable of infecting humans. The infection spreads with alarming speed, overwhelming public health systems and quickly destabilizing governments. In just a few weeks, cities that were once hubs of human activity fall into disorder, infrastructure collapses, and society fractures into small, often isolated communities struggling to survive. The central figure at the beginning of the story is Joel, a man whose experiences have shaped him into a survivor capable of navigating this dangerous new reality. Joel's personal tragedy, losing his young daughter, Sarah, during the initial outbreak, serves as both a narrative catalyst and a lens through which the audience can understand the emotional stakes of the story. This moment of loss is devastating, not only in its immediacy but in how it defines Joel's motivations, shaping him into a character whose survival instincts are inseparable from the grief he carries. His initial emotional detachment is a coping mechanism, a way to navigate a world that has become hostile and unpredictable. As Joel begins to rebuild his life within a quarantined Boston, now under the strict control of military enforcement, the story introduces us to the conditions of the post-apocalyptic world. Quarantine zones are fortified, heavily patrolled, and authoritarian in nature. Civil liberties are curtailed, and life is regimented to maintain a semblance of safety and order. Yet, these zones are far from perfect, resources are scarce, tensions between residents and authorities simmer beneath the surface, and the ever-present threat of infection reminds inhabitants that safety is fragile. Within this environment, the narrative presents Ellie, a 14-year-old girl who embodies hope in a world dominated by despair. Unlike other survivors, Ellie possesses a rare immunity to the cordyceps infection, making her central to the larger narrative about humanity's potential salvation. Her immunity is not merely a plot device, it is a narrative lens through which themes of destiny, moral responsibility, and the ethics of survival are explored. The story positions Joel and Ellie's journey as a microcosm of human struggle, emphasizing that survival is not merely about avoiding danger but navigating the complex moral landscape of a society in collapse. Joel and Ellie's journey begins with a reluctant partnership. Joel is initially motivated more by obligation and practicality than by any emotional attachment, but the narrative carefully develops their relationship through shared experiences, trials, and moments of vulnerability. As they traverse abandoned cities, encounter both the infected and hostile human factions, and face life-threatening situations, their bond deepens. The story meticulously portrays their evolving relationship, showing how trust, loyalty, and care emerge even in circumstances that seem to strip away humanity. Alongside the main protagonists, the narrative introduces a host of supporting characters whose lives intersect with Joel and Ellie's in meaningful ways. Tess, Joel's partner at the start of their mission, is a pragmatic and determined survivor whose sacrifice underscores the story's recurring theme of the cost of survival. Marlene, leader of the Fireflies, represents another facet of humanity's response to the pandemic, the pursuit of a cure and the moral complexities that arise when individual lives are weighed against the potential salvation of humanity. Characters like Bill and Frank illustrate that human relationships, love, and cooperation persist even in dire circumstances, while Tommy, Joel's brother, provides insight into family dynamics and loyalty amid chaos. The narrative's genius lies in its ability to juxtapose intense action and suspense with quiet, emotionally resonant moments. Scenes of confrontation with the infected or hostile human factions are interspersed with reflective dialogues, glimpses into character backstories, and moments that reveal the emotional toll of their journey. These interludes are not mere pauses, they enrich the story, providing context and depth that elevate the narrative beyond a simple survival tale. Every encounter, every choice, and every loss is framed to explore ethical questions about what it means to survive in a world where traditional morality is no longer sufficient. Beyond the narrative itself, The Last of Us has a rich production history that is integral to understanding its cultural impact. The original game's development involved meticulous world building, narrative design, and character creation, making it a benchmark for storytelling in interactive media. Neil Druckmann, co-creator of the game, and Bruce Straley, the game's director, focused on crafting a story that would resonate emotionally with players, emphasizing character development and ethical dilemmas as much as gameplay mechanics. The visual design of the game, including decaying urban landscapes, overgrown natural environments, and detailed character animations, contributed to an immersive experience that captivated players worldwide. The game's critical success and narrative strength led to interest in adapting it for other media, including film and television. Plans for a film adaptation were initially announced in 2014, with Sam Raimi attached as producer and Neil Druckmann writing the screenplay. Despite early excitement, the film project struggled with development challenges, including finding a director and adapting an interactive, multi-hour story into a 2-hour cinematic format. These challenges ultimately led to the project being shelved indefinitely. However, the story's popularity ensured that it would find life in another format. HBO's television adaptation, developed by Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann, provided an opportunity to explore the story in greater depth than a film could allow. The episodic format allowed for extended character development, exploration of supporting characters, and a more nuanced portrayal of the journey, while retaining the emotional resonance and high-stakes tension of the original game. Pedro Pascal's portrayal of Joel and Bella Ramsey's portrayal of Ellie received widespread acclaim, with critics noting the depth and complexity brought to the characters. The supporting cast, including Merle Dandridge, Anna Torv, Nick Offerman, Murray Bartlett, Caitlin Dever, and Isabella Merced, contributed to a narrative tapestry that reflected the diverse ways humanity responds to disaster. The series premiered on January 15, 2023, and quickly established itself as both a critical and commercial success, demonstrating that video game narratives could be effectively translated to live-action television without losing their emotional impact. Trailers and promotional materials highlighted the narrative's tone and visual fidelity. Teasers highlighted the perilous environments, the threats posed by infected and human antagonists, and the nuanced interactions between Joel and Ellie, generating anticipation and discussion among audiences worldwide. The first season of The Last of Us consists of 9 episodes, each carefully structured to build tension, develop character arcs, and explore the moral and emotional complexities of a post-apocalyptic world. Episode 1 opens with a harrowing depiction of the outbreak. The story immediately immerses viewers in chaos as the cordyceps fungus spreads, turning humans into infected predators. This episode establishes Joel's loss of his daughter Sarah, a pivotal moment that defines his emotional state throughout the series. The sequence is rendered with raw realism, portraying both the immediacy of danger and the helplessness that accompanies sudden societal collapse. The juxtaposition of intimate family moments with widespread societal devastation lays the emotional groundwork for the series, highlighting themes of loss, trauma, and survival from the very beginning. Episode 2 shifts the narrative forward 20 years, immersing viewers in the transformed world of quarantine zones, survivor settlements, and desolate landscapes. Joel, now a hardened survivor, is introduced in his day-to-day survival routine, which includes smuggling operations and navigating the dangers of human and infected threats. This episode establishes the initial tension between Joel and Ellie, who is being assigned to him for a critical mission. Their early interactions are cautious and marked by subtle tests of trust, setting the stage for the gradual evolution of their partnership. Supporting characters such as Tess and Marlene are introduced, revealing both the stakes of the journey and the ethical dilemmas inherent in surviving in a fractured society. Episode 3 delves deeper into the journey itself. Joel and Ellie encounter the first significant obstacles outside the controlled quarantine zones, including hostile survivor groups and infected creatures. These encounters force both characters to employ resourcefulness, strategic thinking, and teamwork. Ellie's intelligence and agility become apparent, complementing Joel's experience and cautious pragmatism. The episode also introduces Bill, a survivalist living off-grid, whose interactions with Joel and Ellie provide insight into the diverse coping strategies individuals adopt in the absence of societal structure. Bill's environment, meticulously detailed with traps, barricades, and improvised tools, reinforces the series' commitment to environmental storytelling and realism. Episode 4 is pivotal for character development, focusing on emotional and ethical dimensions of survival. Joel and Ellie navigate increasingly dangerous territories, while their interactions highlight the evolution of trust and emotional dependence. Flashbacks and dialogues reveal Joel's continuing struggle with past trauma and Ellie's formative experiences with Riley Abel. The episode juxtaposes tense action sequences with moments of quiet reflection, emphasizing the psychological and emotional stakes of survival. The cinematography enhances this duality, using tight framing in moments of suspense and wide, expansive shots to underscore vulnerability and isolation. Episodes 5 and 6 intensify both action and moral complexity. Joel and Ellie confront increasingly aggressive infected, including clickers and bloaters, requiring careful strategy and improvisation. Simultaneously, interactions with survivor factions test their ethical boundaries and challenge their assumptions about trust, loyalty, and human behavior. These episodes explore the recurring motif of moral ambiguity. Decisions that prioritize immediate survival often conflict with broader ethical considerations. Key emotional moments, such as Ellie confronting her fears and Joel grappling with protective instincts, deepen their bond and highlight the psychological consequences of prolonged exposure to danger and moral compromise. Episode 7 focuses on the duo's navigation through extreme environmental hazards, including urban ruins and wilderness challenges, emphasizing survival skills, improvisation, and teamwork. Moments of tension are punctuated with emotional depth, as the characters confront not only external threats but also internal conflicts stemming from past traumas and current ethical dilemmas. Scenes of quiet interaction, shared humor, and vulnerability continue to develop Joel and Ellie's evolving familial dynamic. The episode also provides glimpses into secondary characters' pasts and motivations, further enriching the narrative tapestry and reinforcing the series' thematic exploration of human resilience and moral complexity. Episode 8 brings several narrative threads to a climax, presenting both high-stakes action and significant emotional turning points. Encounters with human antagonists, morally ambiguous factions, and the most threatening forms of infected intensify the tension and highlight the cost of survival. Ethical decisions become unavoidable, and Joel and Ellie's responses illuminate their growth, adaptability, and the deepening interdependence of their partnership. Cinematic techniques, such as long, uninterrupted takes during action sequences, strategic lighting, and immersive sound design, maximize suspense while reinforcing the characters' vulnerability and the unpredictability of the world they inhabit. Episode 9, the season finale, resolves several immediate narrative arcs while leaving key questions open for future exploration. Joel's choices in the final act underscore the central ethical and philosophical themes of the series, the tension between personal loyalty, protective instincts, and the potential greater good represented by Ellie's immunity. The resolution of this episode is emotionally charged, blending suspense, moral ambiguity, and poignant character moments. By closing with both resolution and foreshadowing, the finale effectively sets up the narrative trajectory for Season 2, ensuring continued audience engagement while maintaining thematic and emotional continuity. Across all episodes, The Last of Us consistently employs environmental storytelling, cinematography, music, and sound design to heighten immersion and emotional resonance. Each episode contributes to the overarching exploration of survival, morality, human connection, and resilience. Quiet moments of character interaction are juxtaposed with intense action, highlighting the precarious balance between hope and despair in a world dominated by danger.